Ah, ghosts. Real.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Are Ghosts Real? The festive edition with me, Corinne. And as you can probably hear behind me, I've got my little fake fire going. I've got my Richard III mug and I've got my goblet of mead, and I hope that you guys are comfortable, because this is just a short video. It's something different. But in the medieval times, it was known, when the nights were drawing in like they are, it was known that you would share ghost stories. Obviously this became really popular in the 19th century, of course, when Charles Dickens made Scrooge happen. But this actually was a pastime that started way, way, way before that. And so I thought, since this year I've been doing a lot of medieval stuff, why not close out the year by bringing a tradition back that used to be a tradition. So I found a story that I thought was quite entertaining. I will put a spoiler alert on here. If you have any children, it is best to have them leave the room because this is not one for the kids to hear. But it made me chuckle, and it is based upon actually a real guy who really believed that this had happened. And he was a monk, an Augustine monk, and he chronicles the history of England. He went around England back in the 12th century, chronicling different villages, the history of those villages, and then compiled it all together into a manuscript. But what's really, really interesting and very fun is he included this story that I'm about to tell you. So I hope that you are sitting relaxed, and I hope that you are ready for this fun little ghost story. So we start our story a few months before Christmas. So our story starts when the nights are drawing in and everything is becoming quiet. The harvests have been brought in and the world is getting ready for the festive period. There is a woman and a man who live in a village in Buckinghamshire, funny enough, which is where I used to live. And that's another reason I chose this story, is because it's from Buckinghamshire. And they live in this little village, and they are pure souls. Well, she is. Him I'm not so sure about. You'll see why I say that later. And they're just going about their business. She is very well liked within the village. He is also well liked, but not as popular as she is. And they are just getting on with life. Now we get closer to Christmas and he becomes ill, and unfortunately he then dies. And a funeral is held. with all the proper rites and all of the Catholic things, rituals that are needed for his soul to go on. Anyway, she obviously goes back to her house alone, and it is a cold, dark night, and it is now the night before Christmas, and she goes to sleep. And as she's lying there, she feels a presence. And then she feels hands touching her on her body. And she screams, which rightly so, I think I would too. And she jumps out of bed in a panic, and everything stops. The next day, she thinks, maybe I'm tired, maybe my husband's just died, you know, maybe it's my brain playing tricks on me. So anyway, she thinks nothing of it. She goes through her day. Again, the next night, the same thing happens. And she's like, no, I'm not sure about this now. As she lays down, she feels hands touching her. And then the third night, she feels it. She decides to speak to the spirit because she's like, no, I've had enough. And then she finds out that it's her husband. And her husband has come back to be a little bit amorous, shall we say, as a spirit. So she's annoyed by this point. Rather than scared, she's not actually scared, she's really annoyed that he is doing this. And so she tells her brother, who also lives in the village, and the rest of her family that live in the village too, she tells them. They are terrified. They are like, what is happening? And they do not like it. So they come up with a plan. The whole village comes up with a plan to basically scare off the ghost. So if it comes, they will be there and they will scare it off. And so she goes to bed on the fourth night. The same thing happens. He appears, but this time he appears. So he actually appears before her. And the villagers are ready. They are ready and they scare him off. But then he gets really angry because obviously all he wants to do is be with his wife. But he gets really angry and then starts, doing things around the village, like scaring them all and turning up in their houses and moving things and throwing things at people. So he becomes a massive nuisance, basically, to this whole village. And so they call a priest to come, and they say to the priest, we need to burn his body because that way he will disappear. The priest is absolutely against this because he's like, no, the body is sacred, the soul is sacred, so we cannot just burn his body. What we can do is have him seek absolution. And so he creates this scroll of absolution. And they dig up his body and they put the scroll of absolution within the grave with him. And then everything stops. Everything stops. And she asks, what did he put on the scroll of absolution? And he said, well, to absolve all his sins in life. And so he was never seen again. The whole village went back to being really happy, and she went back to being able to sleep at night. So that's kind of the ending of the story, but I thought it was quite a fun one. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I read it and I have to admit I was finding it very hysterical. I wasn't necessarily scared by it, but I certainly found it hysterical. I could just imagine sort of this amorous ghost being like, all I want to do is be with my wife. And everyone's like, no, no mate, not tonight. So I thought that was great. So I wanted to just share that with you. I hope that you enjoyed this one. A very Merry Christmas to you all, and may you have a fantastic Christmas Eve and Christmas time. And I shall see you guys again very, very soon. Thank you so much for your support this year. And I raise a glass to you guys with my need that you guys have the best time, and I wish you all a prosperous and successful New Year's. And I shall see you guys with more explorations, more castles, and more medieval mayhem, hopefully. We'll see in the new year. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very, very soon. Don't forget to like and leave me a comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this little bit of fun entertainment. Bye for now. Cheers.